Yes, guys, how's it going? How are you getting on? And welcome back to the channel. Game week 37, a double game week on the horizon coming on Saturday. Do let us know in the chat if you can hear us all right. Hopefully we are okay and you can hear us. Big shout out to Stephen and his brother William who did help us set this up before he came live. But if you want to throw a thumbs up, hopefully everyone can hear us. And yeah, great guest here this evening, Andy. Let's talk FPL. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
Good. I'm not too bad now. Hopefully the nerves aren't coming across here, but hopefully we can get some thumbs up in the chat, and we are all good anyway. But yeah, hopefully everyone can hear us. Andy, come here. Tell me, how's the season going? We were just chatting there before. It has been a long season, but I want to say an enjoyable season. How has it been for you?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good right up until game week 34, and then it kind of went downhill from there. But I think I'm like I think I'm pretty similar rank to you. I'm like 45k. If you told me that at the start of the season, given how much tougher the game's getting, I'd probably take that. It just feels a bit more frustrating, obviously, because game week 34 was, well, it was bad for me anyway. I don't know if it was as bad for you, but no
Yeah.
free hit, no Mateta. So yeah, not great. But overall, pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's weird. With that free hit, I did save it for that week, but there was a few 50-50 calls. I think I finished on 120 something, so I can't be too upset about that. But I had a 50-50 call between Henderson and Pickford, when Henderson over Pickford, and then I had a 50-50 call. I think I don't know who. Oh, Trent and Robertson. I changed it to Robbo last minute, but anyway, I can't give out about it. I did well on my free hit, but yeah, it's the beauty of this game, ups and downs of it so much. But anyway, yeah, I was happy enough with that. But yeah, as you said, 45k. What's been your ups and downs so far, Andy, of the season? Have you any highlight game week that you look fondly back on?
Oh God, I should have thought about this.
Putting you
I
under
mean,
pressure.
Wildcard 10 was pretty good. Yeah, I got Cole Palmer, 4.9 million. Obviously, he's absolutely smashed it like ever since. I don't know if there's like one particular highlight. I mean, low likes was owning Man United players for the first 9 game weeks. That was terrible. Um, I don't know. I'm sure there's a player that I mean, Jackson the last couple of weeks has been great. When everyone was like so undecided about him. So yeah, probably then. When I got Richarlison the first time, I think he scored like the next 8 game weeks or something. So there's a few players that have popped out. But there's not really been like one like massive thing. Just a lot of like little things, I guess, that have helped along the way.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to myself. Even I'm trying to think myself. What was a low light? Looking at the triple captain as well. Yeah, it wasn't. There's people saying
Yeah.
sorry in the chat that the camera is laggy. It's on normal latency. Um, keep on keeping on. Everyone
I
say.
think the sound's okay
Yeah,
though.
if the sound's okay, we'll keep going anyway. Apologies about that. It's the joys of shared accommodation in Galway, but hopefully the Wi-Fi still keeps going anyway. But yeah, looking back to my own season, then as I said, we're kind of both around the same mark anyway. 57 45. What's a realistic goal for you now, Annie, for the rest of the season? Top 50k, or are you looking more than that then as well?
Yeah, I think I think game week 33 and 34 just weren't great for me. Like no Isaac and Gordon, and then no free hit. I was 25k before that, so if I could get back to that, that'd be nice. But yeah, I think top 50k would be fine, to
Yeah,
be honest, at this point. But with a bench boost, if I could push to 25k, that'd be pretty nice.
yeah.
Top 10k is probably out of the question now. But yeah, top 25k, I think it's doable.
Yeah, even my own rank, I was kind of hoping for a one digit number. Well, like a 11 to 19k would have been lovely, but I think just 57k is far too far away from it. So probably have to go for top 50. Even if I get 30 to 40k, I would be happy enough with that. But seeing as you're the guest, we're gonna start off with you, Andy. Hopefully the chat can see this on screen. Apologies, as I said again, if we are lagging. But this is Andy's team up on stream here. Myself and yourself, we're both on bench boost, Annie. So if you want to just chat us through there, how you're shaping up for the weekend.
Yeah, I've been a bit luckier than most people since I wildcarded because I haven't had any of the injured defenders yet. I mean, we might get more information tomorrow, but yeah, Petrovic in goal, Edison on the bench. Obviously, I've got my bench boost, like you said.
Yeah,
Dan Burn, Dallo, and Pedro Porro back three. Not really looking to move Dallo on, even though I don't think Man United keep a clean sheet in either game. too many injuries, etc. But also probably not worth moving him on. Palmer, Son, Gordon, Foden, all super solid in midfield. They're all staying as well. Bruno Fernandes is flagged, not pictured in training today. So he could be a major doubt going into 37. So I'm probably going to move him to Richarlison. And then it's Haaland and Isak up front, Haaland captain. And then the rest of the bench is Jackson, Gabriel, Saliba. So there's not really too many issues. I'd rather have 4 double game weekers on the bench, but Arsenal was so good for game week 38. I'm happy just to see that through, and there's every chance to get a clean sheet at Old Trafford. So yeah, just Richarlison and probably roll the other transfer. As boring as that is, with only 2 game weeks left.
Yeah, I'm looking at my own thing. We'll get into mine in a few things, but we're similar enough, really. Petrovic, I've Gusto over your Jackson. I've double Arsenal defense against Man United as well. I know we're both United fans then as well, Andy. But I brought in I brought in White last week. I was hoping for the clean sheet against Bournemouth. We did get it. With that Billing goal, should have definitely stood. But looking at us Monday night, absolutely shocking, so bad. So hopefully we do that. We probably will get that clean sheet. I shouldn't say hopefully we do get it, but we should get that clean sheet against United at the weekend. But yeah, Bruno is an interesting one. Richarlison is a nice differential. He's definitely less than 10% owned as well, man, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Overall, and I suspect in like top 10k and top 100k as well. And I'm sure that will go up tomorrow, but yeah, major differential at the moment.
Yeah, and then going through the midfield, everybody has that kind of same template midfield. Isak, Haaland up front then as well. So it's hard even to look for a differential to get us up the ranks. Yeah, but looking at that team, you're happy enough with Ederson, and then as well, I know he came back straight in surprisingly after he did get injured against Forest. But do you think he's fine for the 2 games?
Yeah. I mean, he made the mistake for the goal against Wolves, but he also made the pass to Foden for the. Like he passed it to Foden before Foden assisted Haaland for the goal, for whichever goal number it was for Haaland. I can't even remember now, 3 or 4. So yeah, I think they're better with him in the team than Ortega. So I'm pretty confident he will keep his place.
Yeah, good stuff. Spurs defense then as well. So we'll chat about my team in a few minutes. But are you happy enough with Pedro Porro there? So I've to make a goalkeeper transfer this week because I have got Kelleher on my bench. But are you happy enough with Pedro Porro there, and Burnley even as well? Burnley are trying to get as many points as they can on the board then as well. Probably that City game is probably a write off, but are you happy enough with having him in the team? I know you have him in already, so you can't move him on. But what do you make of the Spurs defense?
Yeah, I mean Spurs. I mean everyone's obviously laughing at the Man United defense right now. I was looking at the stats, and Spurs aren't that far behind for expected goals conceded. So their defense is pretty poor as well. But there's just no other defenders, is there?
No.
There's so few that I think Porro, obviously, like you said, has to stay. And they could get a clean sheet against Burnley at home or Sheffield United away last day of the season. He's still quite attacking as well. So I quite like him. I think he's one of the best defenders this week, to be honest. The pool of good ones is low, but I think he's right up there. So I'm quite happy with him. And if people are getting worried about him, that's even better for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that Burnley game, especially that it is at home for Spurs then as well. You'd be definitely hoping for a clean sheet, if not a clean sheet, potential attack and return then from Porro then as well. Yeah, it's very. I'm not I'm not saying it is very template what it is, but it's the same team as everyone else. But looking at differentials then.
It is.
Yeah, it is. If you were looking for differentials this weekend, then Andy, obviously Callum Wilson would have been a nice shout, but there's word that he's injured himself again somehow. I don't know if it's concrete news then as well, but yeah, Richarlison's probably a top differential for this week. If you were trying to climb up the ranks, I suppose we're looking at double gaming players, even potentially Everton at home to Sheffield, but not really. But yeah, if you were looking for a differential, who would you be looking at?
Yeah, I think Richarlison's one of the better options. Wilson, like you said, if he's fit, it's for double game week players, it's actually really hard because I feel like the players that are kind of viable are already quite popular. Even De Bruyne, who has been a differential recently, has had quite a few new owners. So I guess Madueke at Chelsea is one, Adingra and Gross and João Pedro at Brighton. And that might be it, honestly. I can't really think of too many other attackers. I mean, if you want to go through the pain of owning Man United players, then Garnacho and Højlund aren't massively owned. But if Bruno Fernandes is out, I just think that makes Man United even worse than they already are. I just probably wouldn't look there. So I think the Brighton attackers or Madueke are probably the only true differentials. 'Cause even someone like Barnes at Newcastle
Yeah.
just isn't nailed on.
Just his minutes now then as well. Yeah, I made the sensible decision any Monday night with the bank holiday. It was either stay back home in Leitrim, watch the United game, and drive to Galway, or drive to Galway at not a too bad of an hour. Thankfully, I drove to Galway and I didn't have to sit through that. But yeah, just I suppose, yeah. Before we get into my team, let's go into United season so far. What do you think, Andy? Should he be gone? Should Ten Hag be gone, or are you happy enough to have him?
I'm not really that happy. No, like, I get why people want to give him another year, because obviously new structure in place, and like, he doesn't really have the players. But I feel like we've been saying that for so long that Man United just need another 5-6 players. I guess it depends who comes in. Like, Tuchel's a genuine option. I really don't mind that. I know everyone wants a long-term manager like Ferguson that just comes in, is there for the next 10, 15 years, but it's not going to happen. I think getting someone like Tuchel in the short term and then figuring out everything else is not a bad move necessarily. But I don't want him gone for the sake of it. Like, I'd want them to have someone ready. But the football this year is so bad. Like, even if players start coming back, I'm not sure it'd be that much better than it is right now. There'll be some improvement, but the numbers all year have just been super. They're like, I look at the XG numbers all the time. They're like a mid-table attack and a bottom 5 defense over the season. That's just not good enough.
No,
like, there haven't been that many injuries to be that bad. So maybe he saves himself if he wins the FA Cup final. But I'm not even looking forward to watching that, if I'm honest. Not after watching the game against Palace. Hopefully Martinez and Rashford, etc., are back. But I'm not sure it's going to make any difference.
It's weird, even going back to that Coventry game. Just, I won't lie, I turned it off at 3-0 because I stuck on Liverpool. Then the game should have been well over, and then I checked live, scored 3-2, put it back on then, and yeah, you were nearly not hoping that we didn't get through, but it's a bad time for United fan. Even would you get over to many games, Andy, yourself? Would you?
No, it's been a little while. The problem is obviously they're all on the weekend. I'm doing the online streams and stuff, so it's like. Yeah, it's a two-day trip. I wouldn't want to go over on the same day, so just never enough time, really.
Yeah, no, I've been at 4 games. I don't know if you saw any of my tweets. Been at 4 games this season. Bet Luton 1-0, lost to Bournemouth 3-0 at Christmas, lost to Fulham 2-1, and then drew 1-1 with Burnley. So I think I'm a bit of a bad luck charm at the moment. So it's. Yeah, I might
even pick bad matches either.
No, like they should.
There's in like opposition that should be wins.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah, no, not great now. Cool. So yeah, your plan this weekend basically Bruno through Richarlison, and then are you rolling 2 free transfers into the last game week, or just 1 transfer then?
I've got 2 free transfers, so Fernandes to Richarlison. I don't really see the point in doing anything else. Like, I'd love to swap Saliba to a double game week defender, but at that point I'm tripled on City, Newcastle, Chelsea, and Man City. So the only option would be Saliba to dunk, and it just doesn't seem that exciting. So I'm going to leave 2 free transfers for 38, and basically leave a route open to get Salah.
Yeah, captain last game week. One last hurrah if he is going, or
that will. I don't think he's going to go, but that thought has crossed my mind. That will depend on the rank and the score this week, I think. But I am tempted to captain Salah over Haaland, because I feel like that's a risk without. Obviously, Haaland could go and score 4 goals like he did this week, but it feels like an okay risk because we know what Salah's capable of. It's not like just, I don't know, captaining João Pedro out of the blue or something, right? It's, Salah's great. So yeah, that's a possibility, but I'll have to wait. I might just end up doing a boring move and get an Arsenal midfielder in, but we'll see. Like, if I do really well this week and I get closer to top 10k, I might push it. Go Salah, but we'll see. Yeah,
obviously Wolves for Liverpool, and then West Ham at home for Man City then as well. So two nice fixtures for both teams. Could be very swingy on the last day, as you said. If you are looking for not even 10k, 20k from where we both are now, it's going to be interesting then as well. Even the Arsenal lads. We'll go into Saka. I know I've seen a lot of your tweets then as well about Saka. These are the bad things about the double game. We said it kind of brings you away off the really good players. Chat us about Saka there as well, like the last few weeks since bringing him out. Same for me then as well. I hopped back on Foden. He did alright. He got an assist last week, missed out the week before, but it's, I think, getting sucked into the double game, it's kind of yeah.
I don't mind. Like, I'm always going to go for it, so I don't mind having gotten rid of Saka. It's frustrating. Obviously, got the penalty against Bournemouth as well. Obviously we pick players in FPL because they've got penalties, but it's
Yeah,
always frustrating when they get one we don't own them. I think the goal against Spurs was also a penalty, wasn't it,
yeah,
as well? So yeah, so he scored 2 goals, 1 assist, and 2 of them were penalties. Like, it could have been 2 games and they got no penalties. So I'd probably make that same decision again. But I am worried what he's going to do against United because it's such a good fixture now, and obviously the last day of the season against Everton's decent too. So yeah, it's just, I mean, I've already got, like, a lot of people have got double defense anyway, so I can only have one Arsenal midfielder. It might be that pick Saka and Havertz goes off. You just don't know. So it's frustrating, but there's not much I can do about it now. I mean, to be fair, if Fernandez is out and you don't want to go Richarlison, I mean, you could bring Saka back in, save yourself a transfer for 38. I'm not against that at all, but I'm definitely going to go for the double game weeker instead, I think.
yeah, yeah. I think it's probably priority for Salah on the last game week of the season, bringing him back in. But I'm just gonna hide your team there and let's get up mine then. Apologies, I can see the comments in there that Andy is echoing. Apologies, this is me. First time stream with a guest, so we are still learning then as well. Apologies, Andy, as well, if you are
Have you got
echoing.
some in OBS? Have you got like 2 audio things? I'm wondering if there's 2 audio things showing, maybe.
I have you coming in from Discord and then my own mic then as well. I wonder,
Okay.
but that's all it is then. Yeah. Something to look at. Apologies to the chat then and yourself then, Andy, as well. But we'll keep it going anyway. But here, this is how I'm looking ahead for this week, and I am on bench boost. You can't see the bench there, but it is Kelleher, it's Joe Pedro, it's Gusto, and it Nori on the bench for myself. So yeah, we'll start off, I suppose, with keepers then. And he was chatting there about Pedro Porro coming in. Well, he has him already in his own team. It's either for myself with Kelleher, it's Onana, but United are so bad in defence at the moment. Arsenal can get 2 or 3 against us easily, but there could be potential for some save points for Onana then as well. Then it's Vicario. Vicario at home to Burnley, but I'm not looking at too much returns from that City game. Did you see the talk about Pickford then as well? Pickford is potentially an option then as well at home to Sheffield United. There is potential that he could get a double digit haul there at home to Sheffield then as well. And then it's Ederson then, but I already have 3 City, so I can't go near Ederson then. So it's either Onana or Vicario. Probably leaning towards Vicario because he does that Sheffield United game at the weekend then as well. So that's one transfer I definitely need to lock in on the bench boost then. So I have Joe Pedro. You were chatting about Joe Pedro, Andy, for a differential for the double game week. Glad to see he was at least on the penalty at the weekend when they did get it over Gross. Hopefully he is still on them, even though he did miss it, but at least he did get the rebound. And then yeah, Gusto. Andy has triple Chelsea himself, so he doesn't have to worry about Gusto. And then I've got it Nori then as well. So looking at it Nori probably to Dan Burn. Vicario potentially in for Kelleher for a -4. Don't think it's warranted getting rid of Gusto for another hit, especially with there is chance at least he did make a cameo. I'm surprised he did actually make the cameo when the game was over for Chelsea, to be fair, against West Ham. But yeah, looking at a -4 at the moment. Then as you can see on there, I'm not sure if you can see this, Andy, but Petrovic and goals. White and Gabriel are probably going to move to the bench for the bench boost. Burn and Gusto are going to come in. Vardiol, thankfully, I did bring him in last week. He was well known in the FPL community before this, but luckily enough, I was on a podcast with Joe.e. I was bigging him up, and thankfully Vardiol got the assist for the penalty. Should have got the clean sheet for Ederson's howler. And then yeah, the template midfield there: Foden, Son, Gordon. Probably not with template work Garnacho, but then Palmer and then Haaland and Isak up front. If you were in my position, Andy, 57k. I'm probably locked in on Haaland myself. Would you be tempted by Isak, or would you be tempted by Palmer for the captaincy there?
I guess it depends how much you want to push it, really. Like, I feel like Haaland is the standout. Like, I think in game week 38, Haaland versus West Ham, Salah versus Wolves is quite close. But I feel like this week, I mean, Isak and Palmer could do really well, but I don't know, off the back of 4 goals, that was just worrying me a little bit. And it's not like Fulham or Spurs defence is that great. He's going to get good minutes. I don't think there's any worries about, starts and stuff like that, not with the league, so tight. So, yeah, I don't know if this is the week to go different on the captaincy, to be honest. I feel like you're bench boosting, right?
Yeah, bench boosting, yeah.
So that's like a little bit of extra points too over some other people. I mean, a lot of people have still got bench boost to play, so I'm not sure it's going to be as big a rank rise as it normally would be, but it's still going to help. So I guess it depends what you're aiming for. Like, if you just want top 50k, then I would just go Haaland. You're not that far off. If you want to push like top 10k, which is obviously quite far off now, then you've got to go a bit different. And then I really like Son. I really like Son because of the Burnley fixture. But I understand why people like if Wilson's out, I think that makes Isak so much better because he'll definitely be back on penalties.
Yeah.
So I think any of those three, Son, Palmer, Isak, are all good.
Yeah, it's as you said there. Fair enough about the overall rank. I'm doing pretty decent. Can't be saying money leagues, but I will say money leagues. I'm doing pretty decent in some money leagues, so I kind of have to wrap those up instead of the rank. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to probably play it safe. Leave Haaland in there, but yeah, Palmer's nice there as well. It is 2 away fixtures there. It is a bit blurry for me there. I'll just double check. I think it's 2 away fixtures. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Forest away and Brighton away. Forest are pretty decent at home, so they mightn't score as many as they would normally at home. But yeah, Son at home to Burnley, even City then as well. But yeah, let's see. If I was going away from Haaland, it would be Isak. Yeah, but bench boost, João Pedro. We'll see. Newcastle away. Everybody's going to have a Newcastle defender anyway, so I'm going to have to be hoping for a João Pedro return there really, and then Chelsea at home. He might get something. Let's see. Yeah. Apologies to Pat there in the chat. He thought he missed the deadline there. I don't know if you can see that one there, Andy. But yeah, I think it's Haaland on the armband for me. Leave it at that, and then potentially go towards probably Salah on the last game week of the season. Plenty of money in the bank. I'm sure you're going to have plenty of money as well, Andy. So we've a route to Salah there then as well. Good stuff. Right. Let's go towards the chat, I suppose, Andy. Here we'll see what's going on. Good evening from Wexford. Good stuff. Shout out to Michael there, William, both members of the channel there as well. I can see Jack. Right, what are we saying there? Dawn is asking Maguire to which 4.3 million defenders are below. My other defenders, goalkeepers are Cher, Van Heck, Poro, Gabriel, Ederson, and Petrovic. Looking at that, Don, anyway, you've already got Cher to probably worry about then as well, and Van Heck then as well before Maguire. But yeah, 4.3 defender, Andy, who would you be looking towards? I'll get the prices up here. I think Gusto is he 4.2, 4.3, but he's 4.3, but
yeah, you're really scraping.
Yeah. I think with Gusto, he isn't guaranteed to start the two of them, but yeah, he's the best of a bad bunch there, really. Yeah, you're scraping the barrel as Andy said there, but Don, but if you don't have Gusto, maybe bringing him in, but I think you probably have to get rid of Cher first, and then you'll have more money to play around with there. Good stuff. Right. Michael O'Connor in the chat there then as well. He got lucky with Jackson, played Gordon ahead of him, but Bruno was missing. Yeah, I know you've Jackson yourself, Andy, so you were happy enough with that. But I was on a nice 4K green arrow up to 53k, and then when the news broke then on Monday with Bruno out, live FPL that evening brought me back down to reality, brought me down to 4K red arrow because of that. So, but yeah, I was just kind of cornered with the triple Chelsea all right in Gusto, so I couldn't get him into the team at all. But yeah, that was a lovely haul, lovely differential haul for yourself. Good stuff. Again, I'll say apologies about the sound, but send in any questions that you can. FPL Jacks watching from Let's Talk FPL. Good to see Andy. Happy days. Lovely stuff. Is Fernandez a hold, Andy? Looney Tune is asking, or would you go for a -4 to get rid of him? Probably looking at Richarlison there as well. He's asking.
I think it really depends what Ten Hag says tomorrow. But I think last week obviously he said he was a doubt, but we just all kind of assumed he'd play because he always does. But obviously now he's missed out is a genuine issue there. So if he says he's a doubt again, I think he's a sell.
Yeah.
Because there is a chance he will miss that first game, even if it is a big one against Arsenal. So yeah, let's see what Ten Hag says tomorrow. But I'm leaning towards selling him if there's any kind of doubt. It's just not worth the risk in a double, I don't think.
No. And as I said, with the double game week, you're automatically getting your 4 points back in in appearance points anyway. So yeah, Richarlison should get something against Burnley. You'd expect something after getting the goal and an assist against Liverpool. Good stuff. Shout out to Subojit and OP Talent. Andy, I'm gonna have to send you this £5 he sent me here because I think that's directed at you. But we'll start off with Subojit there first. He goes, "Hi Andy, play Richarlison or Jackson for game week 38. Who would you be looking at there, Andy?"
For game week 38.
Yo, sorry, yeah, we're jumping ahead, yeah.
With Bournemouth at home.
Game week 38.
Yeah, Jackson's probably the slightly better option. Bournemouth. Sorry, I think you're lagging a little bit for me.
Sorry. I can hear you all right, Andy. Can you hear me, or is it still kind of laggy?
Yeah, no, I can hear you. Yeah, just sometimes like I go to talk and then you can't hear me properly. But yeah, anyway, Jackson probably. Although Richarlison's going to be a big differential. So if you want to push the rank a bit, I'd go him.
Cool, good stuff. And then OP Talent here, as it goes, Muniz to João Pedro for free, or keep Gusto. Muniz to João Pedro for free and keep Gusto, and then it allows him to go for Maddison to Saka in game week 38, or go for Gusto to Kraft, Webster. He's already got Burn, and Muniz to Jackson. It's basically, should he take a hit for Jackson for a -4 this week and then get Maddison to Gordon? You kind of asked that wrong, but anyway, he's looking for Muniz to João Pedro himself basically for free this week, and then that allows him to get Saka in game week 38, or go Gusto to, probably wouldn't get rid of Gusto anyway, but then he's saying he can get Jackson in for a hit this week, but then he can't get the Saka in game week 38. So are you prioritising Saka in game week 38, or would you just go to João Pedro route, and then go the opposite route, and then you can get Jackson in this week?
Yeah, I think I got that. I think I was going to ask you if you were thinking about this as well, but I think I'd get rid of Gusto to free the slot and get Jackson. I don't mind João Pedro, but I think right now the way Chelsea are playing, they're looking pretty good, and Jackson's getting the chances he has done all season and finally putting them away as well. So I think I prefer that one. And Havertz is not a bad option over Saka. And again, he's a bit different too, like a differential over Saka. So I'd probably go that way. I don't mind João Pedro at all, but I'd probably take the -4.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go away from what you said myself. I think I'm going to probably keep João Pedro for now anyway. And then I'll decide probably Friday evening. We won't get into wedding talks, Andy, but I've got a wedding. One of the girls at work is getting married on Friday, so going to have to bring me streaming stuff for Saturday morning. So I'm going to be pretty shook Saturday morning streaming. But this is what we do. It's going to be game week 37, so probably one of the, if not one of the biggest double game weeks of the season. So with everyone bench boosting, so yeah, I've the lads warned. We've got an apartment. I'll probably have a few guests on stream, but they're gonna have shook heads in the morning. But has to be done. To get the stream out there. Good stuff. Jared is asking, what are we doing about Kelleher? For me, anyway, as I was saying earlier on the stream, I'm probably looking towards Vicario and Onana are two options. Pickford has a shout there then as well, but I'm not going to bother really going for Pickford. But yeah, Vicario is fine. Onana, not too happy with the United defense as of now. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it on Vicario. Yeah, I'm just gonna see, Andy, how bad the sound actually is. If I play this beside us. As I said, apologies. If the sound isn't great. Let's see here now. And then OP Talent here, as it goes. It doesn't sound too bad. I think there's a few. we'll keep going anyway. I was listening there. Hopefully it isn't too bad. But yeah, we'll keep it going. Andy's voice is doubling up like talk sport. Fair enough. Apologies, as I said, to everyone who's watching, and Andy the guest then as well. But we're still learning at this stream and stuff, and hopefully we'll get it sorted for the next one. Foden in for Garnacho or Saka. Rashford back in training gives me a bit of concern for two Garnacho starts. I'd probably disagree on that. I think Garnacho's probably safe enough for the double game week. Well, I hope. I'm probably a bit biased with having Garnacho in my team, but I think he is pretty safe. But would you bring in Foden for Garnacho or Saka?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I agree with you. I think Garnacho is the first choice winger in that team right now, ahead of
Yeah.
Rashford. He was before Rashford got injured anyway, and Anthony's terrible, so he should be the first one to go. Yeah, so I don't think so. And also, I don't think Rashford's going to be back for this game. I think he might be out. He's only just back, right? So it's unlikely he comes straight back in.
Yeah. It's not like he's been brilliant all season then as well, so I can't see Rashford coming straight back in about that then as well. Yeah, but I definitely agree with you. Garnacho's probably been one of our best players, if not our best player all season, so he's pretty safe there for the starts over the double game week. What else have we there? The Ian Cunningham in the chat then. On bench boost, Havertz, Saliba, White. So yeah, three single game week players against Man United. Would you swap any for Richarlison or Porro? Maybe the attacker, but would you go Havertz or Richarlison for free, Andy, for the double game week?
I don't know if I would more likely do Saliba to Porro or Havertz to Richarlison, to be honest. I guess because of Sheffield United away, I'd maybe risk Richarlison, possibly. Even both. I'd be tempted by Richarlison and Porro, and if you got 2 free transfers for Havertz and Saliba, you just go for it.
Yeah, I think we've only got 2 game weeks to go. I think you probably have to go for it. Yeah. Glenn is saying get BT broadband. We're on the Virgin Media now, so probably have to go towards BT after this. But it is a learning curve anyway. Saka to Gordon for -4. A hit to get rid of Saka. Would you bring in Gordon for a hit, Andy?
I don't really like hits for Arsenal players this week. I think the only attackers I would take hits for are probably Haaland, Isak, Palmer, and Son. I mean, Gordon's kind of borderline, but Saka's definitely better in 38, so I'm just not sure. I don't think I would do that, but it's quite close.
Yeah, I think the fact that you'll probably want Saka back in, well, you more than likely want Saka back in for game of 38. That could be a -8. Hypothetically, if you have to go back in, as we were saying, Salah's a priority for game of 38, and then if you want Saka back in for that Everton fixture, that's a -8 already. So will Gordon outscore him -8? Yeah, we'll see. Thanks, Andy, for that. Andy's saying we're both fine sound-wise now, so hopefully we are, Andy. Appreciate that, Andy. And another Andy, sorry, in the chat then is saying that then as well. Seagull Diaries, Andy, 1 point ahead of FPL Salah. Who will take the risk to win? Fair enough. Yourself and Abdullah are very close, are you? On rank-wise, sorry, anyway.
Apparently so. I don't think either of us will take a risk.
Yeah.
We're both that boring.
We'll see. Are you in any other big leagues really that you're focusing on? Like, are you like myself now? I'm kind of focusing on those few prize leagues anyway. Maybe I'd probably try and kind of chalk them off. Or are you always overall rank?
Yeah, pretty much just overall rank. I'm not really in any prize leagues.
Yeah.
I'd love to win my own league, but there's just so many people in it. It's like I'm top 50k and I'm only just inside the top 10k in my own league. So.
Okay.
Probably not going to win that. And my mates' league, I just always win because they don't take it as serious. So yeah, it's not really any interesting leagues for me. Not majorly, anyway.
Fair. Yeah, for now, as I said, I think I'm going to leave it on the focus on the prize leagues, and then it's part and parcel really. If you focus on the league, surely you'll get up in rank wise anyway. Good stuff. Rob Maloney's asking in the chat there, what's been more frustrating this season, Andy, being an FPL manager or a United fan?
Man United fan.
Yeah.
I think I'm quite. I would say I'm quite a realistic Man United fan. Like, I know we are nowhere near City, Liverpool, Arsenal, etc., and it's going to take a long time to get back there. But even so, it's been below standards. I mean, if something crazy happened and we won the FA Cup, then I guess you can't complain too much. Carabao Cup, then FA Cup, but there's not that many positives, I don't think, with the way that we play, really. So I don't know. Maybe next season will be better, but this season's definitely been more frustrating to be a Man United fan.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially going back to what I said, especially making 4 trips over. At least 3 of the games should have been won by 3 or 4 goals before even heading over. You were chalking that down as an easy win, but the fact that two losses, a draw, and one win, 1-0 against Luton,
Just
Linda,
brutal. Honestly.
yeah, no, not good, not good. It's an expensive away. Well, it's a home game. Obviously, it's a home trip for us, but it's such an expensive home trip as well. Seeing as we obviously have to fly over for them as well. But anyway, I'll take a break for them for next season anyway for a bit, or maybe just go to neutral Premier League games and try and enjoy FPL side anyway. But yeah, good stuff. Linda there is asking, who would you recommend focusing on for a free hit? Kids' bedtime done in record time to catch you. Appreciate that, Linda. Good stuff. Yeah, we were chatting about really, if you're looking to get away from the template, Linda, it's really Richarlison is kind of peeking himself out this week. In defence, not really too many differentials in defence, Andy, is there? No, like it's probably Arsenal defenders, but people most are on the double up really. If you wanted to bring one of those in and bet on a clean sheet for Arsenal instead of let's say Spurs, for example, they should get something against Burnley, but they definitely won't get a clean sheet against City. But any differentials in defence, Andy, would you be going for?
Yeah, it's really difficult. I guess, I mean, you could try Brighton, but I mean, it's Newcastle and Chelsea. I'm not expecting them to get a clean sheet in either game. Like even Livramento people have been looking at, but Trippier could be back in the squad this week, so he might get one start in the double. And I don't think Livramento is guaranteed to play left back when Trippier plays, because Lewis Hall's played all right recently as well. So there really isn't, to be honest with you, any differentials that I mean, I can name you loads of players that are different, but they're all terrible. So
Yeah.
I think it's probably better looking at attack for some slight differentials rather than defence.
Yeah, as we were saying in there earlier, Richarlison, potentially João Pedro, but I think Jackson over João Pedro if you only have the double up on Chelsea, as of now. But yeah, it's very template across the board really. But those lads, if you are looking to try and at least get up the ranks, and then if you really have to maybe look at coming away from Haaland captain, as we were saying, Isak potentially captain in a differential if you a big gap to chalk away at. But yeah, that's what I would say. Fair play for getting the kids into bed early as well, Linda. Good woman. Or Linda, sorry, good woman. What else have we there in the chat? Yeah, looking at the bench boost then, Andy. What's a fair enough hits to be taken? I'm probably looking at a -4. I'm tempted to go for a -8, but I'm probably going to leave it off without doing that. And what's the optimum? I suppose that's the word I was looking for. The optimum hit for ahead of the double game week.
Yeah, I think it really depends on what state your team is. Like some people have been really screwed over where they're missing like 3 defenders through injury all of a sudden. So my general feeling is I would take as many hits as you need to get to 15 playing players. Not necessarily double game week, because like if you've got 8 Nuri, that's not necessarily worth a hit. But if you've got Cher and he's still out and Van Het, Maguire, I'd take hits for all of them. So it just depends how unlucky you've been. I mean, Gusto, for example, is a tough one, because he probably gets one start. There is a chance he doesn't get a start in either game, but I think he probably gets at least one. So I probably wouldn't take a hit for someone like that. But someone who's like definitely ruled out, 100% not going to play in either game, I'll take a hit from. So that could be -4, -8, -12. It really depends on how screwed over you've been.
Yeah, exactly. Completely agree. You're getting your appearance points back with the menu, and then you're just to break even, and then hopefully you could get a return. For example, if you're taking out Maguire, bringing in Dan Burn, even as we were saying there, Trippier, but it all depends it really doesn't depend what Eddie Howe says on Friday. You're gonna have to take that with a pinch of salt. But yeah, if you're taking a hit, you're breaking even, and then probably hoping you get something. Brighton at home for Newcastle should probably be a clean sheet for Newcastle. Was absolutely delighted Dara O'Shea got that clean sheet, the clean sheet wipeout against Newcastle at the weekend. Was him and Hall between Byrne last week or White. Going to be bringing in Byrne this week anyway, so it's +4 points at least for getting that White clean sheet. But yeah, it's looking at my own team here as I'm saying. Then again, it's yeah. We'll get your team up there again, Andy. Sorry, you've no Vardy all, have you? No, that's one thing I suppose you're probably missing. Are you tempted to go for Triple City there? I know you were saying
I've got Triple City.
Oh, so you do. Sorry, you do it in goals, obviously. I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, triple Newcastle there, Triple City.
Yeah, I mean, like some people are. Let's say if Bruno Fernandes was fine, some people are talking about doing an Edison to Vardy swap, so Edison to Vicario to free up the City slot. Because I've got one spare Spurs slot, and then get Vardy in for Saliba, but I'm just not sure it's worth 2 transfers. And also, Vardio's ownership's quite high, and I almost fancy taking that on a little bit now because I don't know. I mean, the positions he takes up is a little bit worrying, but I also think he can't keep getting a return like basically every game, which he's done recently. So I'm probably just gonna go against that. I think realistically, the 2 players I'm not going to own this week that are going to be pretty popular are Vardio and De Bruyne. I think that's the only 2 players that can really damage me. And up against them, I've got, who would it be? I mean, Dallo, he's definitely not better than Vardio. And who have I got? I'm going to have Richarlison instead of De Bruyne. So I think you probably say I've got the slightly worse options, but I'm going to have 2 free transfers and no hits this week. So I'm willing to take that on, basically.
No, that's fine. Exactly. If you're not taking a hit to get where you are, I completely agree with that, and you're better off risking it then as well. It's mad even when you try to go against a template. It's not even is Vardiol. I'm just looking at his ownership here. He is 12.6%, so he's just above a differential at the moment. But Twitter, he just seems everybody owns him, and then I was nearly going to go for Walker to try and get away from Vardiol, but thankfully I went with Vardiol. But yeah, the positions he was taking, I didn't get to see the Wolves game at the weekend, but I think that Luke Lad from Man City he does a lot of stuff with them. He was predicting her from the lineup anyway. Vardiol was playing kind of near enough left wing, and it was did you see the game at the weekend, Andy? Yeah, was he pretty much up there most of the time?
I was out. I was somewhere. I couldn't watch it. But I've seen the highlights, and yeah, I mean, he was like left mid, left winger for a lot of the time. It's not a complete fluke at all, the amount of returns he's got. But I'm also hoping they dry up a little bit. I mean, his ownership in the top 100k is like 35%, and he's also the most transferred in defender this week, so it is going to go up. He's going to be at least 50% owned, I think, top 100k. So it is a bit worrying. I just don't know if it's worth 2 transfers. We'll see. We'll see what's said about Fernandes tomorrow.
Fair. That's the other thing then as well. Yeah, being at this wedding tomorrow, I'm gonna have the ceremonies at 2 o'clock, so prime time, press conference hour. But yeah, I can catch up on the press conferences after anyhow. Right, let's see anything else in the chat. What are we saying? KDB and Watkins to Richarlison and Haaland for a -8. Not sure on that. You're probably obviously Haaland. You definitely need him Zufi for the double game week. But would you take a -8 to get for Haaland, Andy?
Yeah, that's a real tough one. I mean, getting rid of Watkins sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
But -8 sounds. I don't know. To be honest, I'm kind of of the opinion sometimes that it's just easy to get players like Haaland because he can't destroy your whole weekend.
Yeah.
And so maybe those 8 points are worth it for your sanity. I don't hate it, that's for sure. I mean, Haaland is definitely better than De Bruyne, and Richarlison's better than Watkins. So I'd maybe do it if you don't want your weekend ruined.
It's mad. Even I was never going to do it anyway, but I contemplated going for Palmer over Haaland. Didn't go for it, thankfully. But yeah, 4 goals. If you're looking at that on Saturday evening, that's the weekend. That's the bank holiday round, you know. If you can't get to that, yeah. But no, it's mad. Even with Salah a few years ago, just having him in your team for sanity reasons at least, yeah. But yeah, let's see then as well. Right, what else have we? Apologies again. I know it is lagging for people. Apologies about that. We're stressing that then as well. What else have we there? Need to get rid of Verge. Connor Buckley in the chat. Need to get rid of Van Dijk. Thinking Ben White or Walker as a differential. If we're getting rid of Van Dijk this week, Andy, who would you be going for?
Out of those, so I'd definitely take the double game week. So I'd take Kyle Walker. I think you could even argue he's got slightly more chance than Vardy to start all games, not as attacking. But yeah, I would definitely go Man City, I think, over Arsenal. Like, Man United have been terrible, I get it. But it's at Old Trafford. Like, I think there's a chance we score, even if we lose like 6-1 or something. I think we can score still. I mean, with Fernandes out, it's less likely, but I would take the City defender and then hope for the best, I think.
yeah, that Connor lad, I work with him, Andy. He's having a flying season. He's around 4K at the moment. So, yeah, I'd for the work lead reasons, Connor, I'll tell you, bring in Maguire or something. But yeah, no, I think you have to go with the double game week player, and yeah, that's a great season if you get inside that top 5K. Right, what else have we there? Sakib, current defenders: Gabriel, Walker, Poro, Cher, and Maguire. Best replacements for Cher and Maguire. We're a lot of defensive questions, I suppose. Will the main ones we're saying, Kyle Walker, Vardy, probably over Walker if you can. And we'll see, is there anything else on other questions that aren't on defenders. What else have we here now?
Just on that one, just quickly,
Yeah.
because obviously Cher and Maguire's super cheap. We said earlier there's like hardly any 4.3s. There's quite a few 4.4s. So like if you had a spare Spurs slot, Van de Ven's quite cheap at 4.4.
True.
And single game, like I hate buying single game weekers in a double, but Everton defense, like you said earlier, Brantford or even Tarkovsky might be a little bit more goal threat. I quite like them as well, so I think I'll be doing something like that, because you can downgrade Cher to one of those players to give you the money to upgrade Maguire. So I would do something like that, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Even then, the only thing with Everton lads, they obviously have Arsenal then next week, but it's a nice Sheffield United fixture this weekend. But yeah, right. Let's see. Is there any attacking questions? We've enough spoken about defenders. Yeah, well, I'm going back to my own defense as well. Jared is asking as well on eight Nori. I'm probably looking to get rid of him for a hit, especially after Crystal Palace, the thumping they gave us on Monday night. But it's a home game for Wolves. If he was playing in that attacking role, I probably would be tempted to keep him. But he seemed to have moved more slightly back towards the defense anyway. Eight Nori then as well. But would you agree on that, Andy? I think if you have eight Nori, it's probably sensible. Well, you might disagree, but just to get rid of him for a hit. Can you hear us there, Andy? Can you?
So, did you ask me a question there?
Yeah, no, you're all right. I was saying, looking at eight Nori, someone's asking, should you get rid of him for a hit? I was just saying.
I can't hear you.
The sound's gone, is it? You can't hear me, no? No good, no.
I think it was Ain't Yuri out for a hit.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. I don't think.
No.
Unless something comes out tomorrow, it says he's not fit.
Yeah, no. Hopefully, the chat can hear us. Yeah, maybe. What time we now? We said we'd go for an hour, Andy. Maybe with all this sound stuff, do we maybe leave it off, or are you happy enough to keep going for 10 minutes, or should we go off?
I'm easy. It's up to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. We'll take two more questions because Sakib is saying anyone's getting lag. We'll go for that. Anything else then? Again, once I say, apologies to the chat now for the lag. Right, FPL Jelly, already used my 2 free transfers: Ederson and Maguire to Petrovic and Vardy. Bruno's out. Would you go Garnacho or Havertz? Can't afford Saka this week, so Garnacho or Havertz, Andy, here this week then. Yeah.
I mean, if you've got no other plans for next week, then I prefer getting Garnacho, I think, and then get the Arsenal midfielder next week. Obviously, you take the risk that something else goes wrong and then you've got to take a hit next week, but I think that's what I prefer to do, despite Man United being